So all you younger guys out there think you want to come to prison, just stay on the other side. You don't want none of this. Let's get into it. The most brutal weapon in prison, and it's the most medieval, is the lock and the sock. We always had locker boxes that were secured by inmates were issued two locks, two combination locks. And obviously you give inmates clothing and different things like that. So they've always devised a weapon by putting a combination lock, a padlock in a sock, and wielding it like the medieval days when the gladiators used to fight. So why do you think that is? It was pretty simple. It doesn't take a lot to make. It's inexpensive. Both socks and small metal objects like locks are common and unlikely to be noticed during shakedowns as weapons. And they're very concealable. You can put a sock in your pocket, a lock in your pocket, and unless you get stopped or patted down, nobody's really going to notice. And if you get caught with it, you could say, lie and say, oh, it's just my stuff. I'm not doing anything. It's nothing out of the ordinary, unless you've been a seasoned person in corrections and you know better. It's a psychological advantage because it's very unassuming. If you are on a dorm or in a pod and a guy's got a sock and a lock, you're not really paying attention to it until he makes it into the weapon. And it's very hard to detect in searches because when you're searching through property, you're not paying attention to stuff like a sock and a lock because it's not a flashing red light immediately. In incarcerated environments, you don't really understand this concept unless you've worked in it a while. But if you see the absolute carnage and destruction and the pain that a lock and a sock can cause, then you get it. I've seen incidents where people have had beefs with each other, conflicts with each other, and 2, 3, 4 guys have locks and socks and they beat somebody down and they get beat so bad. I remember an incident where 5 guys attacked one guy with locks and socks, and every time they hit him, flesh would come off and chunks of his skull. And it's like if you took hamburger and you just grinded it through a meat grinder and it still had the blood in it. That's what his head looked like from all the chunks. Because every time he got hit in the top of the head, a chunk would come out or an indentation would happen. So those types of incidents, however brutal they are shocking. They are devastating, and they cause damage, and people get life flighted out to medical centers for them. Locks and socks are one of the most devastating weapons that you'll ever see in prison. They're the most unassuming weapon you'll ever see in prison because of the brutality and the medieval type of carnage it causes. Back in the gladiator days when they had the weapons with the chains and the hammers and all that kind of stuff, and they swung them around, the velocity of it killed people. The same thing happens in prison. The velocity, the intensity of the sound of a metal lock hitting somebody's skull and the thud of that and the pain of that is just devastating. People sometimes don't come back from beatings like that because it does brain damage. So if you're not the guy that thinks that he can handle coming to prison and dealing with stuff like that, what I tell you is always stay on the other side for that express reason. The brutality of prison, the brutality of facing weapons like this, and just the pure violence of it is something that you don't want to ever experience. So all you younger guys out there think you want to come to prison, just stay on the other side. You don't want none of this.